The Comedy Store would like you to know that the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are strictly those of the speakers or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by the Comedy Store and its affiliates.
Do you guys still have the intro that absolves
the disclaimer?
Yes.
All right, guys, we're back. Eleanor will be here in a minute. I'm Rick Ingram. This is the Comedy Store podcast. She's down being a traitor at a different comedy club.
Whoa, that's allowed?
Yeah, I don't even want to say the name of the club, but I'll say this. It's a factory of laughter.
Okay. All right, I'm thinking about
You'll
it.
figure it out, maybe.
All right, I'm going to
give it some time.
Yeah, I got the ha-ha?
Yeah.
The ha-ha hole?
A lot of people thought maybe I was going Comedy Chateau.
Yeah, is that it? The
legendary open micer of Comedy Store fames. Historic club.
You get down off a gondola from some skiing, and you go right into the chateau.
Yeah.
You do your material with some hot cocoa.
Calling something a chateau in the middle of North Hollywood is it's a bit uncomfortable.
I don't think it's pretentious. I think it's a good feel, good fit.
I love.
I bet
Americans.
it looks like super classy joint.
You could tell, like a strip club.
I bet like a
without the
nice
dancers.
fireplace,
a fire pit, maybe
stockings.
Yeah, it feels good. Feels at home.
Have you been to the chateau?
I've not.
I bet Eleanor has.
Yeah, I guarantee she.
I don't know if there's a club that she has not performed at.
That
includes strip clubs.
Eleanor, as a performer, she gets around.
She, much like her early sexual days as a waitress here, and it's good we talk about this because she's not here to defend herself.
She's not here to defend herself. But she's going to get here, and she's most likely going to lay the smack down
quickly.
And
she's going to come in hot.
Tell us about a dozen Marios.
She's going to come in hot, not only because of menopause, but I think she's running late.
Well, I think if she doesn't come up with a one-lady show called A Dozen Marios, she's missing out on the action.
Yeah, and bring them in. Or bring John Leguizamo in to play every Mario.
All the Marios.
Every one. Maybe some songs in between.
Legs is he's a special. He could do it. If anyone could do it,
what's
it
he
was
been up
Leguizamo.
to the last couple of years?
I'm guessing.
I don't want to start any beefs with John the Leguizamo camp.
First of all, Legs is a big fan of this podcast.
Okay,
so he's gonna hear it.
He's cool.
I think he's probably still pitching himself for the new Mario Brothers movie.
Okay.
Say, hey, give me another shot.
Nintendo's back.
Nintendo's
back.
I was Luigi the first round. This time I want a shot at Mario.
Whoa.
I want him to step up to the plate.
Good for him.
Kind of a Robin becomes Batman.
Know your value. Maybe Ice Age is coming back. Remember that movie?
Sure.
With the squirrel?
A weird sloth or something.
A mammoth, some, I think.
I don't think either
He's
one
had
of
a
us
long career, man.
really remember too much about it.
He's had a long career.
Yeah, Leguizamo's been a lot. He was great, and he was actually really good in Summer of Sam.
Not Too Long Fu, Julie Newmar.
Everyone was great in that.
That was Swayze's best, in my opinion, best work.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was, and that was, when people really started going, there's something odd about this Swayze character. Red Dawn is his best work, and then a close second.
To Wong Fu, before its time, Men Dressing as Women.
Was that Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, I believe it was. Maybe he didn't pay taxes on that movie. It led to his
demise before his rebirth, like Christ.
He's back. Who cares if you don't pay taxes for a while?
Let
the man work.
Yeah. Snipes is a big deal.
He's back. I think Eleanor slept with Snipes in the 90s.
Is that true?
Yeah, he was doing the Belly Room show, research for a role.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Next thing you know, the research involved Eleanor's bedroom.
The comedian Vampire Slayer.
Is that his title?
I believe it was something like that. I know he did Blade, and then the career never really.
You think that was his undoing?
Had to be close to at least the lowest part of his life.
Does Eleanor, does she run from down there to here?
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure that.
She have a 10-speed she keeps on the facilities?
She probably works. I'm guessing she probably has the Laugh Factory limo bring her down here.
Oh, shit.
I think Jamie actually bought Mitzi's old limo.
Whoa.
And
incestual limousine purchasing.
He only uses it for Eleanor, though.
They had a big rivalry. Jamie Masada, owner of the Laugh Factory, and Mitzi really didn't like each other for many years.
Yeah. But and people are always like, well, Mitzi likes Jamie because he worked for her. I'm like, there's no way she liked a guy opening a comedy club 4 blocks.
She did not seem to like competition.
No.
She wanted to extinguish everybody.
There was a time when the Laugh Factory was raging in popularity.
Oh, way bigger than here.
And
it was when we started here.
Yeah, and no one came here.
No.
And it was a beautiful time.
No one. Oh, it was great. No one was running the asylum.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of legit nights where I could not believe they opened again the next day.
Oh, for sure. And then they had a rule where they couldn't start the show until 4 audience members were there. And a lot of nights they would be waiting. And you'd have 2, and then they would wait so long that they'd leave. And then you're like, oh, shit, we're back to 0. We got to wait.
What's great is that when I started working here, it was 6. And
they're like, let's make it 4.
I was still working here. They were like, we're cutting it down.
It's too long. Some of these shows are starting at midnight.
We can't count on 6. We get 4 stragglers.
I remember you'd just be waiting there. You'd be like, is this happening?
I reaped the benefits because I was working the back door, and people would come in and, be 40 minutes after the show is supposed to start. There's still not a single audience member.
That's going to be a weird feeling of like, am I being set up? Are we going to be robbed?
What are we doing?
Are they going to kill us? Like, what's happening? It'd be like going into a restaurant and they're like, just wait.
Yeah.
Something will happen. We'll be there.
It's going to be a 20 minute wait.
But
all the tables are open.
You're like, this show's going to suck. And then you see the lineup that the great Tom Morris rolled out there back in those days.
This was even pre-Tom Morris. This was Mitzi kind of just throwing names out of wall. It felt
picking them out of a hat.
So
there was some old school players back then.
A lot of high alphabet names.
Ages similar to our parents.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shit, these guys have hung around.
It's interesting now. There's a Comedy Store Facebook group. It's like Mitzi's Past or something.
Oh, boy.
I think Jack Purdue started it.
I wouldn't be allowed in that group.
Yeah, you didn't make the cut, bro.
No, I'm in the comics that the great thief / racist Tommy Morris passed.
Yeah, which should have its own Facebook group as well.
I agree.
If there's not one, you really
Whitney is our leader.
Yeah, Whitney.
She's the group leader.
I would love to know what Tommy's take on the Chris D'Elia.
He's got a take.
Well,
it's a hot take.
We've all been there.
Leave the guy alone.
Loved him.
Oh, he loved some Chris D'Elia, loved some Whitney as well.
Yeah.
Loved Eli Whitney.
A lot of people didn't realize Tommy's reverence for the cotton gin.
He loved that cotton gin because how did the cotton get picked back then? Well, let's get into that. Tom. Have you had Tom on the show yet?
No, I wish.
Maybe you should reach out to him.
I don't think he's allowed in the building, but if they...
Why don't you do Zoom via wherever he is? Guyana? Where is he?
Yeah, he's somewhere in the Caribbean, I believe, pirating.
It's weird. A lot of Nazis from the original Nazi era ended up in South America.
Yeah.
And it's odd. It's odd that he ended up there as well. Just an odd coincidence.
They're good people.
It's odd that I ended up here. I followed the path. Okay?
I think he sent me a friend request maybe 6 months ago. I just never responded.
Like via mail?
Yeah,
he sent you a letter? You want to be friends again?
Can we be friends or not?
Check the box and send it back. I didn't put an envelope. Too much postage.
Yeah, I saw him comment on someone's Facebook page, and then maybe 2 weeks later or something, I got a friend request.
Tom, if you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I heard what Danish had to say, okay?
I bet he listens.
Hitting the steel drums.
He listens just in case his name's mentioned. He's last I saw, you're doing a good job, Tom, playing that pizza joint in South America where your concert was
I believe it's a fish taco joint.
Well, I apologize. Well, is there egg on my face?
Don't disrespect a great man doing great things.
I'm sorry. If you want some notes on your music performance, hit me up. Yeah. I got notes for you. I can get some things you could do better.
I was so excited when my buddy's ex-girlfriend saw him live. It sent me some.
There?
Yeah, sent me some pics and was like, "Remember this guy?" And I'm like, "Do I ever?"
Oh, I got some tales for you. Did she know he was there? Just happened to be.
No, she travels the world with her now husband, and they go to a lot of kind of tropical destinations and partake in heavy drug usage.
What are the odds of just wandering into a joint where you see Tommy Morris?
She said she couldn't place him when she first walked in.
I know that person.
Yeah, so she said, I know this guy. And then she started thinking he was like an old time musician who was famous at one point.
She's like, that's Buster Poindexter?
Yeah, it was like, who is this? And wait, maybe he was in the Heartbreakers.
Is he in the E Street Band?
And then, sure enough, he in between covering "Hunger Strike" by Temple of the Dog and some sort of like a '80s anthem.
Yeah.
He mentioned, "Well, I worked at the Comedy Store."
Oh boy.
And it's there was like maybe 6 total people in this little taco joint.
She must have been so relieved though, 'cause it sucks when you have that in your head. You're like, how are you trying to figure it out?
How do I know him?
Like she must not have been able to like, oh, I know this. Person.
Sitting there trying to eat
like
food with her new husband on their honeymoon. She's like, I know that guy. And
he's like, there's something wrong with
you.
You all right? Like some of the drugs that you're weird that we've been taking.
Is it the Temple of the Dog? Are you not a fan of the Seattle Sound?
What'd she think of the show?
She was thoroughly impressed.
Wow.
She has a fairly racist history herself. So
Okay.
I think they bonded. She went up and talked to him.
So she's like, I've heard your viewpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not that crazy.
I know what you're into, and I'm here for it.
I might move to South America.
It's always weird, the thought of the racist moving to an island off of South America.
It's ironic, for sure.
But
you got to start you got to start it somewhere.
The only way to open that channel is really to just dive into it.
Why, it's like opening a Starbucks. A lot of people have Starbucks.
Yep.
Go somewhere where they've never really seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, this guy's
This is a fresh take
original.
On how gross we are.
Well, I'm the mayor now.
I like to think he's the talent coordinator of the island.
You're eliminated.
That's not an authentic island dance.
We're playing Survivor now. You've been voted off. That means I kill you.
Oh,
I miss him. If you're listening, Tom, I really do. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Well,
your hair looks like shit. No offense.
It's getting thinner, but at the same time,
well, you've maintained
more powerful.
that figure.
Yeah.
Your thin body.
Yeah, he's not
just
losing.
The hair is matched to the body.
It's getting thinner.
Fuck, man. Where's Eleanor? This is unprofessional.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably running the light. She had to let Joe.
She's got a history of running the light. I followed her here.
How long is she doing?
She's liberal. She's
liberal.
I started saying stuff to her, and so she got in her head and started being like, it would tell me her times because I got in her head of like, hey man, you're doing a little long.
Yeah.
But she was doing, 18, 17.
Traditionally, you don't have a history of fucking with people.
No, I do not. Straight shooter, man.
One of my favorite Comedy Store moments of just being like, are these people for fucking real? Was Jeff Richards and Jodie Fox talking about O'Neill, and Richards being like, dude, he calls me from to give me my spots sometimes, and I kind of feel like he's fucking with me.
Like he doesn't know if the spots were legit spots.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he'll tell me how great I am as a performer and stuff. And it honestly seems like he's kind of mocking me. I'm like, I don't think so. Not Ryan.
I remember Richards back in the day. I think I was still working here. Do you remember we were talking actually before we started about people going up as characters? Yeah. And he was like the Daniel Day-Lewis. He would just stay in it the whole night.
No matter what.
And this is pre-Ditto Kiddo, if you don't know Jeff Richards, his musical act.
Right.
Where he's a British pop star.
Flamboyant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elton John-esque, if you will.
Sure.
But he was dressed as, I think, a naval officer.
Okay.
And Mitzi walked by. And this is the time where no one really bothered Mitzi. It was when her health was
There's still a lot of fear, but
fear as well, and she just didn't talk to a lot of people. And he stopped her as the character in the lot, and I was like, ooh, this is not good.
Yeah.
And I forget what he said. Whatever he said was there was no point to him stopping. It was just character-y bullshit. And she just looked at what?
And in his mind, he was like, I'm about ready to get spots every night for the rest of my life.
I think he didn't. And then if you know him, he doubled down. He wasn't like, oh, I should back off this. He doubled down hard. And I think she was like, what? And it's walked away. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
She had a lot of really good moments in the parking lot. I recall her yelling at Doc about how she doesn't like his brother.
Oh, boy.
And it was some Asian guy. And Doc's like,
what? I ain't Asian. That ain't my brother. What? What, am I adopted? He probably fucked with his head.
Let me call my auntie.
She walked by me once, took a look at me. I was on the stool. And, you would kind of stand up, you make sure you look good.
Eleanor's here. Hold on. I'm going to open the door for her. Just keep talking.
You got to open this door or the door upstairs? Oh, my God. I'm on my own. I feel like Ron Burgundy in here. Oh, fuck. Oh, there she is. You don't have a chair.
Yeah, we'll get you a
Joe Coy was here. He did the show. Eleanor's here. She ran from the other club. We're not allowed to say it.
So, wait, can they hear us? What?
Yeah. No, I asked if they could hear him.
Did you guys just start?
We've been here like a couple hours.
Yeah, we've
Shut the fuck up.
We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're pretty tapped.
That's amazing. You're such an asshole.
We've been talking shit about Tombo for probably about 12 minutes
I
now.
gave him some personal shout-outs. Welcome back. Where were you?
Right now? Or,
no.
Oh, I was in Houston. I was at Skankfest.
What?
Oh, what? Skankfest! Skankfest! I would never!
What is that?
You couldn't pay me money to be there.
What is
you paid me money?
No one would pay you
Wait,
money.
what is it? What's the premise?
Skankfest?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of skank comics like myself.
What does that mean?
Like we're
Define
dark,
No,
wild.
Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
What?
Wouldn't
You
do
wouldn't
it. I'm out.
You wouldn't do it?
I'm out.
This
So
is
you
a
have
man. He's a man of character.
I stand
Eleanor.
with the Jeffs.
But haven't you done
Wrong
Skankfest, Jeff?
Well, you got me. I did do it.
Well, that's weird.
And
Back then, it was more of an innocent thing now.
I have the distinct, I don't even know the word for it, but the
honor?
Honor, there you go.
Honor's a good
Sometimes
word.
you forget words when you get a little older.
Oh, do you get flustered?
You have 2 kids.
The skanks?
My baby was there. First baby
Your
at the
first
Legion
baby.
of Skanks.
Yes,
Wow.
in New York City.
She was
Right.
baptized, and even though she's Jewish.
See that?
Baptized.
And they circumcised her for
That's
free.
perfect. See,
I mean,
that's why
multicultural.
So fuck you, Garland. Back off.
that's why Skankfest is so good because they do everything.
Full service.
Bris,
You can bring your
whatever
car.
you need.
Bring your car in.
Bring your car,
That
get it
makes sense.
serviced. People are like, "Oh, Skankfest, you got to be careful. You know, the guys are a little creepy." No one hit
Are
on.
they talking
Nothing.
about
not one person.
the comics or the crowd?
The crowd.
Crowd.
They're like, no, nobody hit on me.
Man.
Nobody bothered
Oh,
me.
Well, maybe it's you though.
No one wants to get beaten with a sawed-off baseball
You're
bat,
right.
even
But
if
you
they're
know what?
creepy. Did you
Some
bring it
people
with you?
like that.
Yeah, that's
Some
probably
people
true.
like
How was
that.
Astroworld?
Astroworld was great. I killed 8 people.
Oh,
and then
come
I
on.
left.
Eleanor.
I killed.
I asked a legit
I
question.
killed.
Frage, come on. Stop
I
snapping
legit
it.
killed.
Come on.
Wait a minute, but
This is a serious
did we ever
question.
figure out if Ari was there? When I heard people were getting stabbed with drugs, I said,
I was at Skakefest. I was doing a dog fucking show that I put on. It's storytelling while you fuck a dog. I was out
it's
there.
so weird. But there was a dog fucking thing that Ari was running.
It was the dog
So,
fucking roast battle. It's a new.
It's a new
take.
thing. Naked roast battle and now dog fucking roast battle.
You got to up the ante.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen Ari's balls and I'm excited about it.
What
It's
you
a-
the first time? Where have you been for the last 25 years?
"Yeah, it's
No, it's been a minute since I've
you're
seen
like,
them.
they've
Yeah.
aged.
they've sagged.
They've gotten even longer,
They've
which
sagged
is
even more.
crazy.
The bubble gum is stretchier at this point.
Do you remember when he would do the
yeah, the
when he
snail
would
race.
do the snail race?
Yeah.
And then he got banned from the improv
yeah.
for doing it, and he was like, "I do it at the Comedy Store all the time."
It's performance. It's like Chappelle can smoke on stage, but you can't do that at a restaurant. You can show your balls. It's legal.
He probably raced his nutsack up the microphone stand at least 60 times that
Easily.
I've witnessed.
Easily.
He does it once at the improv, and they're like, "This is a crime."
Good news is they do never wash the mic stands.
No.
here. Like you could
You
get
don't
Prince
need
off Pryor, Kinnison
Yeah.
off some of those.
Juan Carlos
100%.
probably came in just like, "I'm
The
not
problem
touching you."
is the Jew balls up
Yeah.
and down. I can't fix
You can
it.
see Ari's ball prints on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would never put my balls on the mic stand.
By the way,
Garland, come on.
so
Relax.
fucking pissed at Garland. Okay,
Whoa.
and I'm gonna.
You're not gonna go on Curb. You were scheduled to go on this
You know
season.
what? I'm good not to be
You're
on
not
Curb.
going. And the Goldbergs were after you.
Goldberg's
Well, he's
is
out.
Philadelphia
He's
suburbs.
also out on that one.
He's out.
Yeah,
He
'cause-
announced it.
He announced his retirement.
probably a dozen times.
Wow.
I'm done. I'm not doing it again unless they give me a short schedule and a lot of money.
His PR people. Hey,
He's
we're on a
out of
podcast. We got to talk a little bit.
I honestly thought by the end of the podcast, I'm like, is he just doing this so he can try and get fired from his show?
This motherfucker loves to just start shit. I think he was talking about pubes and pussy, whatever it was that HR thinks he did is real.
Probably.
He was on Rogan, and Rogan was talking about
Pubes?
Dice,
Oh.
and they started talking about Day the Laughter died.
Yeah,
And-
it's my special.
Right?
I did it in the OR in front of 2 people.
It's not the OR, Andrew. It's somewhere
Whatever.
else.
It's
Yeah,
New
okay.
York
Sure
City.
enough, Dangerfields.
Yeah.
So they were talking about that.
Leave.
I didn't want him there.
The laughter you hear is me sitting in the crowd thinking about the bits I just
How crazy is it that there's no one there? It's me and a bunch of chairs.
Eleanor.
You've gotten even more chayas. Like you've aged him. You've aged him.
He's gotten He's older. I've studied him.
That's amazing.
I get cameos just to get. I buy cameos just to hear.
Have you seen any of Dice's cameos? They're
I don't think
so long.
Oh,
they're
great.
amazing.
He did one where he showed this guy. Look behind me. You can see vinyl that you're never gonna see ever again. Disco. I got a disco collection. And I'm like, the guy did not ask for this 4-minute disco speech. And I'm
that's for free.
That's a bonus.
The disco talk is for
but he's
free.
like, wait, can you talk about my grandfather who's sick? That's what I called it.
Yeah, disco dad, your grandfather.
Well, Garland got Dice pissed off because when in that Rogan thing, Rogan was talking about Day After Dice, saying how great it was, and Garland was like, I bet you that was Rick Rubin's idea and not Dice's. And Andrew flipped out.
You don't give Rubin the credit, not
It was
Dice.
all Andrew.
Rubin!
Everybody went against Andrew. They were like, no, this isn't going to work. Mitzi told him it's going to ruin his career.
Yeah.
Rubin was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Why would you do such a thing? And that's what he wanted to do. And then he went on Instagram and ripped Garland to shreds.
I remember when he picked the fight.
Dice
don't talk
funny.
About what you don't know.
Dice hates a good fight, so that's weird that he would go after him.
Wait
especially
a minute.
online.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
I feel like, I got to be honest, I feel like you're being skankfest-ish.
No, he doesn't.
And
ironic.
ironic.
I wouldn't do
Are you being
skankfest.
ironic?
Ever since I did it that one time, I wouldn't do it again.
He saw what was going on over there.
By the way, I have a new baby, Legion of Skanks. You want to invite me back?
Yeah,
let's
get
him in there.
Do you need a bris?
Let's get him in there. He's
time.
been circumcised, but he needs to appear.
You already had the bris?
We already had it. It's 8 days after the birth.
Oh, that's
been
right.
alive for
My
a little
fault.
bit. I'm
I've
on
only
paternity
been the
leave.
one.
I broke my paternity leave to come here.
I appreciate that.
That's pretty messed up.
Do I get paid for this?
I appreciate it.
I'll pay you for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How much do you want?
Why? I feel like I'm on trial the way these seats are set up.
Listen, this is it's actually an intervention. Okay. We wanted to talk to you about
time.
This is very important.
We feel like you have been going a little heavy on negative energy and sarcasm.
And you're really taking this Judaism thing far.
Whoa.
The hat's a little much.
Brody Stevens once met my daughter, baby Barb, when she was younger, and he was asking me questions like I was holding her at ATC, like I was holding an alien.
Yeah.
What's it like? And I was like, her, like the experience.
Fatherhood? What do you mean?
Do you like it? And I was like, yeah, I love it. And he's like 10 minutes later, we were just talking. He's like, I got good energy from her. Yes.
And
she was just doing. I was like, what the fuck? She didn't do anything. Didn't like interact with him at all.
She didn't even like.
He didn't look at her really at all. Like, and I was just like, all right. She's been blessed by Brody.
She didn't question me. That's all it takes.
No judgment in her. Pure at that age.
She wouldn't scare him in a dark alley, right?
No,
that's what he
not.
said.
She's white. Pure. You got
Pure.
it.
Jewish.
Half
Good.
Jew by blood. Yes.
What's
Brody a half breed?
No, I'm saying my daughter.
Yeah.
Brody was also though.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Never bar mitzvahed.
Whoa.
But his mom's Jewish, so there is no half.
Yeah.
That's the only time they really
What about
respect
the
the
dog?
women.
I just recall
dare
him
you.
telling me.
How dare you get in a shot at
Yeah.
the Jews there. Think that you can get it under while Rick's talking?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You think Garland's not going to come at you for that?
You think he has
Why would you say that about his daughter?
Listen,
I would never tour with his daughter.
Rick
She's
Rubin,
a baby.
Rubin, fuck you, Garland. I started the Larry David thing, not you.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my God.
Larry David did Skankfest, didn't he? Wasn't he in Houston?
I think Larry David was, I think he was at Astro World.
Were there any big,
I believe that's correct.
any big pop-ins at Skankfest? They do get big names.
Well, yeah, Bob Saget,
Bob, yes.
Gilbert Godfrey was great.
Stanhope was there. Did Stanhope
Stanhope?
perform, or was
Yes,
he just
he did.
drawing penises on it?
I saw Stanhope in
did.
like Gene Simmons face paint at something.
You know what he did? It was so cute. There was a guy that was, I guess, hired, or I don't know if they hired him or if these
It was
people
just a
come.
carny who showed
You
up.
never know.
Yeah.
I think Garland hired him. Sent him.
Garland sent
As a
him to
present.
see
My
what's
face
going
paint
on.
guy. This guy's the best.
Garland, why are you always screaming? It's why your voice is hoarse. You're always screaming.
Rick, I'm not going to be able to do it if you do it like that. Do it again.
I can't now. It's too much pressure.
But like,
I'm funny. I crush. Every set I do, I get a standing ovation.
Garland.
lightning in a bottle. bottle.
Come on, Garland.
But do the lightning in a bottle.
It was lightning in a bottle. Everyone was saying it.
Hey, what about pubes, Garland?
It's not like I just walk around talking about pubes. Anyway, here's 3 minutes of pube stuff.
All right. Jesus. Too soon for that.
But so there's this poor guy with the face paint, and he's all by himself. No one's going there. They're going to the food trucks. They're going to the shows.
I'm shocked it wasn't.
You're telling me.
But there was people walking around
of white angry men. We're not going for a face paint.
Can you paint eyeballs on my?
There was girls, cute girls.
My testicles. I'd like 2 eyeballs on them to make it look like a person.
As soon as Stanhope sat there with Bingo and they got their face painted, a
Everyone
whole
showed up.
line.
It's
Everybody
like
started
the wedding.
doing it.
No one wants to dance. You get that one guy.
I love that, Doug. I do. I love Stanhope.
Who got craziest of the festival? Was it Stanhope or Holtzman?
Well, Holtzman was pretty. I mean, he yelled a lot.
He
but
looked good. Boyo tie.
Amazing.
Oh, when he steps foot in Texas, he takes on full cowboy persona.
Yeah.
He gave his stickers to everyone.
Why he's angry about Tony, you know?
Yeah,
he don't take his image.
The greatest
Holtzman rode a horse to the festival.
I think he did. Here's what
happened.
Where
do I park my horse, bitch?
Show me your whole horse.
Look at that horse hole, bitch.
Look at the shit coming out of that whole horse.
That's a lot of shit. Look at that fucking horse shit over there. All right, Holtzman, relax. I heard he was in the bounce house.
Can you imagine? I would die with him bouncing around with that tie.
But his boots are on. He punctures it, falls to the pavement. I'm all right. It rises up.
I'm good. Tangled. We were talking about how we were going to get to the airport, right?
Okay.
So, the Ubers have been like scarce. And in certain cities, they're not working. Yeah, it's very expensive. So I
should have flown to Houston, got some of that cash.
He goes, let's go ask the guys in the front, the valet. I go,
he
right.
loves talking to random people.
So
blue collar man. That's
he's giving
bread
stickers out, right? As I'm asking about Uber.
The stickers of his face. It's him.
This man gave me a sticker of him.
This is like 15, 20 minutes we're talking about this, right? We go to the front desk. We go outside. We're talking to them. We ask them a couple questions. Then we go sit down to lunch. He goes, I got an idea. I go, what? He goes, I got this card. And he pulls it out, and it's a taxi driver. I go, where did you meet a taxi? Oh, he was dropping somebody off at Skankfest. I got his card.
What year was it from?
He kept leaving the guy messages.
Where are you? Would you quit the job?
The guy never called him back.
No, of course not.
He left him like 20 messages.
It's Brian Holtzman again.
Brian, what are you doing?
His pockets, like if you ever like. The amount of stuff, like he's jingling stuff in there, you're like, that's not even change. That might be tools, like wrenches.
Belt.
The stuff he pulls out, you're like, how fucking...
It's
pants.
the nuts and bolts that he didn't use to put back in the planes when he used to fix them.
Pants.
That's what it is.
Belted up around the tits.
Oh.
Change in there, like you're like...
3.5 feet of pants crotch.
He's got apparently a ton of stickers to hand out to whoever needs them.
You want to keep them with
He
you.
didn't even have... He just pulled them out. He had a whole... I was like, where did they come from?
By the way, his merch girl... Corey Soto.
Yes. Check out their website.
I didn't realize that was who was in charge of merch.
Yeah,
BrianHoltzmanComedy.com if you want any Holtzman
She saw me
shirts.
here a couple weeks ago and said, hey, have you taken a picture in a Brian Holtzman shirt yet? I said, I have not.
What happened?
And then she just gave me one right there on the spot.
Do they make onesies?
Did you take one?
I haven't taken a picture yet, but I do appreciate the shirt.
Maybe we'll wear them next time.
Yeah,
if they're baby sizes, I would love to have Baby Bob, my son, posing.
I would.
You
If
want Bobby and a little
Baby Bob
onesie?
and Baby Barb together.
Baby Bob and Barb in a Brian Holtzman onesie is pretty amazing.
He told me I had a very handsome baby boy.
That's nice.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, listen, this is a man who appreciates a good-looking baby.
Oh, he'll pay big money for a good baby.
He will pay.
You got
a
solid.
What do you think he would do with the baby if you guys sold him?
Raise it properly.
Raise it well.
You know, teach it right from wrong.
Good
and
grammar.
Make sure that it does the right thing.
When you're done with your fork, you move it to the other side of the knife. Stuff like
Dad,
that.
why are you?
That's a soap spoon, bitch.
You ever seen the movie? I've never seen it, but I know it. The movie where De Niro raises DiCaprio as his stepson. I think it would be like that. I think it'd be that sort of upbringing.
Yeah, it'd be very
strict but fair.
The one time Dice wanted him to come on the road with him.
Hey, look, Brian, I gotta tell you. Spit it out, Dice.
I can't do it, but what you could do it. You guys could do the Dice thing because I don't do it. It hurts my heart.
They have an up and down relationship, Holtzman and Dice.
Well, yes, they do.
On again, off again.
Yes, they
a lot
do.
Of off again.
But Dice told him he could come on the road with him if he dresses as the guy from Falling Down.
Which is, when you ask someone to come on the road, it's nice usually to give them stipulations that are humiliating. Also, I don't get why anyone would be opposed.
I don't know why
honestly,
he didn't do it.
I would 100% agree with that.
Thank you.
Assessment. Holtzman should have gone full Michael Douglas.
He should have leaned into it.
I want you to open with all
you
I want.
You forgot your briefcase.
Is
just
a breakfast
screaming
sandwich.
At people.
Just open with breakfast sandwich stuff, and then by the end of it, you maybe kill somebody in the crowd because you're so angry.
Do
ask somebody that
tonight when you go up there? Do the can of mustard gas scene.
Remember when you were in the Army Navy shop with the Nazi? Maybe do some of that.
Do that scene.
If Dave Taylor was willing to be the professor and just get booed off stage.
Oh, here's the deal, Dice. I would gladly infuriate your idiotic fan.
Remember he used to make him say big words.
I love it when you do the words I don't know. I just said because, Dice.
That's a lot of syllables.
Oh! Has anyone ever asked Dice to do that? Has anyone out-Dice Dice? Like, Dice, I want to do this with you, but...
Yeah.
And
No, I don't think
you don't
so.
do that to the champ.
I only do it if you wear fingerless foot gloves.
Whoa.
Then you're like, I want you to wear Vibrams. You come back to... what? No one's ever come back.
To what?
The foot toe thing.
Yeah.
That's so gross.
I'm not doing it. He starts freaking out. Garland, bless you.
You made me sneeze
that's
on
COVID.
the truth. That's not COVID.
No sneezing in the podcast room.
Come on, Garland.
I hate a good sneeze.
Jesus, Garland. So many rules since Garland took over the show.
He does have a lot of rules.
He's got to curb his
Why?
enthusiasm.
He's got.
He really does.
Is he quitting
He's
that
got
show?
to curb his judgment.
He is 100% on board with
He's
that.
on board.
But he
no
doesn't.
matter what he's doing in his career.
He's a producer on that show.
Yeah, he could.
Was he cast?
He could do 100 different movies and TV shows, and he'll still take time to do Curb. He loves it that much.
It really is good.
They have done some pube episodes, by the way. Remember when Larry got a pube in his throat?
Big shocker
yes.
there.
Garland, was he involved?
I bet you Garland wrote that. He wrote that episode. Like, what could I have in my throat? Pubes. Like,
improv. How dare you? It's improv. It's outlined.
He was.
No, they have a premise.
He literally did talk about pubes for a couple minutes, and then I mentioned that one time when Garland was talking to me, afterwards someone was like, hey, was he talking to you about pubes? And I was like, what? And he obviously had just had a conversation about it. So I mentioned this story, and he's like, what? No, never. No.
That's a pretty good impression.
Yeah. I don't just walk around talking about pubes. I'm like, you literally just talked about pubes.
You protest a little too much. He's like, hold on, my lawyer wants to come in and give a statement about me never talking about pubes. You don't talk about pubes. You never talked about my pubes on the radio in Ohio in 1995.
He brings up everything.
He did that to Dom Herrera. There was a fight about specific radio gigs. What did you say about me in Wichita? Tell me now. He's like, Dice, I don't even know what you're talking about.
It wasn't Wichita. It was a big radio guy.
Crazy thing.
I can't think of his name.
Dom was like, what?
Fuck.
You on Man Cow and you know it.
That's it, Man Cow. Yeah. He ruled the Midwest, Man Cow.
He did. He was a Chicago-based guy who basically wanted to present himself as the Midwestern.
I just like Wichita.
What
Why?
a memory. What Dice hold on to it. He never mentioned it to the guy. They get in a heated fight and he brings it up. And he's like, what?
Dayton, Ohio, October 14th, 1993. What did you say?
Through my card catalog. Okay.
Rolodex.
It's in Holtzman's pocket.
I'm going to throw up.
Sir, would you like to check your pockets or put them above the seats?
How long do you think it takes Holtzman? This is why he went to the airport so early.
Yeah.
Well, you just say hi to his old friends who work there.
That, and he can't take out all that stuff in his pocket.
He's got to get 3 or 4 of those big bucket trays.
He
just
flew
fill up
Spirit Airlines. I was like,
Did
Brian,
really?
are you inciting
risk
issues?
taker?
He does shows on there, I heard.
He was the pilot / entertainment.
He sits in the first seat, he says. I sit in a row 1. 1F.
Does he pay for that, or you have to like run on to get it?
I
can see him
think
showing
you
up the night
pay
before.
for it.
I'm here first. I got C1.
He did.
Just yell
the
at
flight
people.
was at 6-something
a.m.
It's a.m.
Jeez.
He left for the airport at 12:40 a.m. I go, Brian. He goes, I don't think you want to go this early. I go, I don't ever want to go this early. I'd rather miss my flight than sit there.
Like a spring breaker was like, we're just going to party until 7 a.m.
What's
we'll
he
head
do?
to the airport.
What's he do there?
He goes, well, what am I going to do? Sit in the room and stay up? And I go, yeah, at least you're in the room. You're not in the airport bored to tears. There's nothing open. It's the middle of the night. What are you going to do?
I heard he was a celebrity at Skankfest. Is that true?
He was great.
I heard,
people
a
loved
friend of
him.
mine, oh, they were loving Holtzman.
That's how your friend sounds?
That's what my friend said. Who was there?
That's great.
Yeah, that's what my friend
I saw
said.
your friend.
Oh,
I saw
yeah?
your friend naked.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw
How do
his
you know
little
who it is?
freckled pecker.
Don't.
I don't mean little.
Hold on.
But it is freckled.
Was it milked?
It was.
What are we
It
going to
was
do about
not
this, crowd?
milked properly.
Absolute legend.
But it definitely was.
He's from the same area as Holtzman. Tim Dillon.
Oh,
Long
yeah?
Island. That's my Tim Dillon.
I love Tim Dillon.
Why'd you ask about his
Tim's
pubes?
great.
Why'd you ask about his
I can't
pubes?
believe you know Tim Dillon,
He's
Jeff.
great.
What do you know about him?
All these people sent me this video of Garland on Tim Dillon's show a few months back. Where,
Oh, he did his podcast?
yeah, he
Do
did
you
Tim
think
Dillon.
he understands the podcast world and that
Oh,
when he
yeah.
says
He
things, it
gets
goes
it.
out
He
into the
gets-
fucking
no,
world?
He gets
That's
it.
why I'm telling. It felt like the shit he was saying on the podcast last week here. I was like, this dude is trying to get fired from the Goldbergs. That was the only explanation.
100%.
He's like, let's call him up, get him on
Also,
speaker.
he's shitting on these guys that do this podcast, the Skankfest. They sell out all over.
No, it
Like,
doesn't.
what are you doing?
Doesn't even know a single thing about it.
How can
Had
you
no
judge
idea.
it just on the name? Like, it could be anything.
I literally go.
100%.
I go, hey, welcome back to the Comedy Store podcast. Eleanor's not here because she's doing Skankfest down in Houston. Is that real? Why would you say skank? Who wants to be associated with that? Like,
Was he sticking
didn't
up
even
for
in-
Eleanor? Do you think he didn't want her to be called a
I
skank?
met
I didn't
Jeff
even
a million
introduce him
times,
He knows you're a
and he
skank.
has no idea who I am.
yeah,
He knows you fucked Chris Tucker.
What?
that
Oh,
true?
whoa,
Hold
whoa!
on.
Wait, what?
Oh, come on, Eleanor.
was that after Ari?
Oh, come on now.
Chris, I'm sorry. You know that's not true.
Oh, you better believe in Jesus. Come on now. I had to get it off.
Yeah,
I can't be here without
Yeah,
saying
you have
it.
to get Chris Tucker in the
so
interview.
awful that you
Or was it
just
Chris
put
Rock?
that
No, it was
out
Tucker.
there.
It was
Yeah.
Tucker.
You just
I once
say
yelled- I
that
once-
all because I helped him one time.
Helped
Did you
him.
get
Big
him heroin?
help
Was that what, you
help
bought
him.
him heroin?
No,
That was
I
the
didn't
deal?
buy him
I
heroin.
always
Helped him
get my
cum in his
stories
pants.
confused. See, I didn't know about that.
I once screamed at him.
Eleanor was fucking everybody.
Yeah, she was. I didn't know he was. I was doing the Tuesday night show, one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, we all love the.
Tripping on Tuesday,
Yeah.
great outside
So
show.
you didn't have Fat Tuesday. You had Tripping on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
I did it
some weight.
once. I did it.
Wait,
in fact,
what?
I did it
lost weight.
It
was no
lost
longer
some
fat.
weight.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I only did it when it was Fat Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Was
So
it,
I
what was the
always
difference? Was it all
check.
fat guys, or was it just the name?
It
The
was just
name.
it was when
PH, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was when PHAT
Sure
was hot.
enough, certain demographic.
Sure enough.
What do you mean, Dice? Yeah, they. But so it was kind of no holds barred, if you will, for people coming from that show.
Sure.
And they would abuse the bathrooms back where the door guy sits, but they have bathrooms in that room. And so this guy, for the fucking 800th guy, used the women, and there was only one woman. I was like, what?
Oh, you mean when we used to have the one
Yeah.
stall women? Yeah.
And I go, hey, man, what the? And he's, oh, man, I'm sorry. It was just Chris Tucker turned around, went around. I was like, oh, go ahead, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, you're
We
free.
were like
you're free
yelling
to
at the
roam.
one guy.
Yeah, it was like, I was like, oh, he felt bad. He has that voice. I was like, oh, go ahead, piss in there.
It was like when Rick was shitting on Keenan Ivory Wayans.
He deserved that.
I didn't.
No, you were
I was
pro.
complimentary.
You were pro.
Oh, that's right. He
to
was
Keenan
pro.
Ivory.
Did you see what was trending today? Who was the most talented Wayans trending on Twitter?
I didn't
Who
see it.
was?
I put in DJ Sean. What was his name?
Sean Wayans.
Wayans.
What
Sean
was
is
his name
the
when
hottest.
he was the DJ of In Living Color?
DJ1, DJ
Something one.
DJ1,
S1,
S1, SJ1, S.
Something.
It could be right. I think SJ1 is
J1.
right.
Can you vote for Damon Jr.?
You
Is that
should be able to.
Wow, I did a show with Damon Wayans
Can you vote for
last
Boone,
night.
who's a cousin of them?
Interesting.
Ooh.
Is
Keenan
Keenan-
Ivory. Oh, you
Keenan-
can't hunt ivory in Africa no more.
Keenan was the.
Boone, that's not.
Wait,
that's
you
a
can't
string.
hunt.
Oh,
What?
you want some ivory silverware? I
You-
got it right
Where'd
here
you
for
get?
$1.
How'd you get
Where'd
that?
you get it? Game recognized game.
Wow.
Do you miss that element of the
Of,
Comedy Store, if
you
you
mean?
will?
Oh, you want to ask me about my time here? I'll talk about it.
I don't
Been
see why
sexually
not.
harassed for years.
By
Listen,
By a
we-
are you
transient?
pressing charges?
I could if I wanted.
When you look, you're a guy who likes to be flattered. Let's not kid ourselves.
Okay. Some of the outfits I wore kind of brought the
You put
attention.
it out there. I don't want to.
I'd work
sound,
with midriff showing.
I don't
Really?
want to sound
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah, you're flailing your arms around. They're very long. People know.
I touch my penis a lot.
A lot of your impressions are over-sexualized. Yes. People have mentioned that.
That's true.
I've gotten that before.
And, you put it out there. And I remember at least one night where you said, hey, Boone, if I don't see my name written on every one of your shirts, you'll never take a bath at my house. I believe it was the threat you made.
Oh, the cool thing is that I was working. I was an employee of the Comedy Store. Somebody would I was stuck in one place.
Yeah.
And somebody would just stand there and sexually harass me for hours.
Lucky.
Wow.
And I would be like, if I worked at Starbucks,
Lucky son of a bitch. The two of you, huh?
I remember.
Just got it. Just flaunt it.
I got felt up a lot. I don't know what happened to you.
A friend of mine was right next to me, and Boone, let me suck your dick.
Yeah.
You want to suck this? Oh no!
That's weird how your friend sounds so familiar.
My friend was devastated. What do you mean you don't want to suck it? Why not? And I was like, dude, I'll switch with you if he'll allow it.
Yeah. How do we make this happen?
Did your friend let him suck his dick?
But he I think was willing just to get that ego boost that he wanted.
Right.
I remember.
Your friend liked to get milk, though.
Oh,
that's a milking.
He's a milking cow.
Yeah.
If you know anything about him,
100%.
I remember Boone, the good thing about him is black comics, they would see me be like, hey, man, shut the fuck up. And it's like in the NBA where the first guy doesn't get caught. And you see the retaliation.
Right.
Okay.
So these black comics, hey, man, what the fuck? What are you doing? They beloved.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, he just told me he's going to suck my dick. What? He wouldn't do that. And then when they were around, an angel.
Yeah.
They'd walk
yeah. All of a sudden he started asking questions.
He knew it wasn't accepted. And I was like, you fucking piece of shit.
Right.
The one time you're coherent and you know strategy. And they're like, leave him alone, man.
Because he's not going to get beat up.
Yeah, because they would fight him.
They would beat the shit out of him.
That was the thing. It was a lose-lose. If I fought, I would fake, I'm gonna fucking, and he'd be like, oh, please. Like he'd like it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's disgusting. One is disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Oh, come on.
Did he do it to Ryan as well?
No. You call him a cock blocker.
Yeah, he did not like
cock blocker.
He did not like.
Yeah,
Ryan
he
at
had
all.
a type because he liked you. He liked Danny Bilac.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Stingy.
Okay, wait, that went the other
bingy.
way. He liked Tony Hinchcliffe too.
No, I don't know if
Matt
he likes
Taylor.
him or hates him. Calls him a click clacker.
Because Tony talked about seeing him take a shit somewhere.
Well,
who hasn't?
Tony does got a big dick.
Whoa.
That's what he'd always tell me.
Really?
I go, how do you know that? He showed me. I go, what do you mean he showed you? I was going to sell him a computer if he showed me his dick. I go, what'd you sell him the computer for? Free.
I know where you
Wow.
live.
And
I
asked
That's
Tony,
a big one for him. I mean, where do I live? You live
in a house?
I know where it is.
Yeah,
why? What are we doing?
Whereas I would always get how come everybody wants to know my business? Where does Jeff Danis live?
That is,
and I'd be like,
good
That
point.
is on everyone's mind.
Inquiring
minds.
I moved out of Hollywood.
Why do you need to know where I live? I go, I didn't ask where you live. I don't care where you live. Well, where does Jeff Danis live?
Where's Jeff Garland?
Why don't you just take me? I would never give my address to Boone Shakalaka, and I have a bathtub.
Boone's been staying with him through the pandemic.
I hope so. That would be
he's
amazing.
Been gone, right? It's been great.
I have no idea.
Somebody recently said, I hope he's okay. And I was like, what? Why? Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Who gives a shit?
Someone saw him like maybe 2 months ago. That was the last I heard.
He was stealing stuff from everybody and selling. Didn't he steal Dave Taylor's phone and sell it back? Try to sell it back to him?
Here's the deal. What is mine? Oh. How do you... Who knows? How do you know whose it is?
The night after Boone harassed Jeff for the last time, and Ryan and Jeff quit on the spot at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great night.
Standards.
They left, and then the next night, John Sheezer had to work the parking lot to fill in for whoever was supposed to work the lot.
Probably me.
And he was not happy about it. I basically got called in to do this shit.
You know what? I could have been fucking hard out there.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Fucking Boone, dumbass. And so I'm standing at the front bar.
I know this story, but
I'm excited. I don't remember it.
Oh,
the late, great Kurt Thrutchley and I are standing at the front bar.
Legends.
And John Sheezer walks up, grabs Kurt's, he had a pint of beer.
Okay.
And Sheezer's like, hey, is that yours? And Kurt's like, yeah. And he just grabs it and just dumps it on Boone's head right at the front bar. And we're all just kind of like looking around like, what the fuck just happened?
An 80s movie broke out.
Yeah. And
right?
Boone Shakalaka slapped Sheezer across the face so hard. And then we were all just like, And then John just started manhandling Boone, like grabbed him by his wrists.
Didn't he try to throw him into traffic?
At one point, he got a chair, and he was basically like lion tamer style, keeping Boone at bay. And then he grabbed Boone Shakalaka and picked him up and walked over and tossed him onto Sunset like he was Harris Pete dealing with an elderly woman.
Didn't he put his head in Boone's mouth at one point? See if he would bite up his head.
Oh, his head.
It was part of the line. It was part of the line routine.
I was like, wait, what? No, I'm sorry.
No, I heard he threw him into. Like,
he threw him into
trying
Sunset.
to kill him. Pretty much. And he's like,
why?
Pretty much there were no cars coming, but it was for you and O'Neill.
When Boone
just
slapped
for you
him,
guys.
That's what he said.
I wonder if he harassed him.
Boone slapped him. Sheezer got mad.
Sheezer has a temper, man. If you get slapped by, who wants to be slapped by a fucking
age-ridden hand?
One, you get touched by him.
Sheezer tosses him in Sunset and then comes back, and we're all just kind of like, well, that was a strange turn of events.
That was an interesting.
He stands up in the middle of Sunset, and he's just yelling at him, I don't need this, motherfucker. Going on, and then Brett Ernst comes over, and he's like, hey, man. What are you doing, man? I think that guy's got serious problems. And John's like, well, basically, I'm parking cars tonight because of that fucking guy.
I never liked, though. I'm Team Shees on this. I never liked when guys like that. They're like, I see online comics who've made it big recently, and they're like, "Oh, the Comedy Store is my home," and I'm like, "What you know of the Comedy Store, what you've experienced,
completely different.
You know nothing about what I
fucking
fucking lived." And like, "Oh, it's so great. It's like it's so great." And like a guy like that, you're like gonna judge me? Fucking, I be around this guy for hours.
Yeah.
If they didn't work here, they don't really understand.
It's not your home. It's like a place you come hang out. It's like an Airbnb.
Right.
You don't live there. You don't know the roaches and the fucking.
And if you show up only when there's a party going on at the Airbnb,
then it's not. You kidding me? It's great.
Yeah, they're just like, man, this is a great place.
Every time you're there, I get my
dick
sucked early in the night. Every time I'm here, this is great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're like, I live here. It's fucking loud. It's sucks.
Crazy.
You are literally in charge of mop jizzing throughout the evening at the party.
Do you think Shees woke up that day and said, I'm going to throw a fucking homeless man into the street and try to kill him? No, he was pushed to it.
Yeah,
you get pushed to that level.
If you were, we all worked here, and you get pushed to a level.
I always tell people that.
You didn't know you had.
Remember we had Sebastian on, and we'd tell stories. Like, we'd be like, remember blah, blah, blah. What? Like, we bring up, who is it?
This guy?
What?
You talked to those people? I'm like, you don't remember something? Why are you talking to him?
Why would you see him? You're like, no, we had to be here for 8 fucking nights. Sometimes, some nights they would cut my hour. They would make me work and then shave my hours. And I'd say, well, I'm leaving. You can't leave, bro.
No,
like,
bro.
Well, why am I working?
Yeah, what's the point?
That was nipped in the bud quickly.
I
a
heard
lawsuit was threatened.
A great story about Rick that I never heard before.
That doesn't sound like
Rick killed Boone recently.
Not that Rick killed Boone, but we brought up Brett Ernst, so we might as well talk about Cobra Kai. No, I'm just kidding.
Brett Ernst a lot.
Yeah, I've seen him a lot. I saw him in Philadelphia. I saw him in Houston at Skankfest.
Are you guys traveling together?
So obviously.
Is he an honorary Mario now?
I think so.
His middle name could be Mario.
He does have the chain. Yeah. So I was teasing him.
What time does he go to the airport?
He probably gets there on time, smelling perfect.
Yeah.
But I was calling him One Chain Brett Ernst. He's so funny with the chain. Whatever. So
it was prominent.
He's gone harder towards the Italian path.
Are there any
100%
under the shirt, you think?
No.
Like a Mr. T.
There's no other
hidden Mr. T.
Or like a little cross.
Yeah, maybe something's like, hey, that's for myself.
Or like a little guinea horn.
It's like people who get a tattoo. Like, that's for me and people who see it, not for the public.
Yeah.
I like that you guys didn't even react to the guinea horn. Anyway.
You don't think
you're
very racist. Very racist.
Your dildo's a guinea horn.
That's a truth.
It says Mario
up
it.
It buzzes. It's so cute.
But
what's the story is
because I don't believe I've ever done anything story worthy.
No, with Brett Ernst. Like, I just never heard this.
Everything you've done with Brett Ernst.
I just never heard this story. So I guess he got bumped.
Yeah.
And or tried to change, like, hey, can I go up here?
I know the story.
He had a showcase, right?
So he wanted to go do a spot at the factory
because he kept getting bumped here, so he wound up changing his showcase to the Laugh Factory.
Eleanor's home club.
Yeah,
you're an asshole.
He tried to switch spots without getting permission. He was just like, "Hey, we're gonna switch spots because I gotta go down to the factory."
Oh, you don't do that.
I think he asked whomever was in the cover booth and the other comic.
Wow.
That's what he said. So
it's possible.
So Jeff Scott,
Jeff Garland,
the great Jeff Garland, came out of nowhere.
Spots.
That's absurd.
Jeff, that's not true. He never.
What, do I walk around asking to switch spots?
Jeff Scott he was livid.
He was a when it came to rules, he was a fucking
Jeff Scott
stickler, man.
Yeah.
There was a night where there were no comics here, and the rule was, Mitzi Shore's rule was, if you're not a paid regular, you can't go on stage. And so all the employees were like, oh, fuck, maybe one of us will go up. And he's like, it'll just be dead stage.
He'll leave
empty,
it.
It'll be empty stage.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what? He's like, no, that's the rule. You're like, you're a fucking stickler, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think Jeff was saying, like, I run the room, or I'm in control of the room.
And Jeff,
we were like,
he told
we got to
him,
get our shit together.
He told him.
Eppenstein, we got to.
Yeah.
Epstein, whatever his name is.
He got, Jeff got so mad and decided to lay down the law and tell him that Mitzi would not approve of that. And if Mitzi says it's not okay, then it's not okay, no matter what.
Jesus.
that is so funny, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I said, I wish I was there that night. That would have made me laugh so hard.
Why take the job so serious?
I wasn't
100%.
I wasn't even in town. I was in Colorado on
What?
vacation.
Yeah, how do you fit into this?
Vacation.
Yeah. I didn't have enough of a career or spots that I could still just be like, well, I might as well just go to Colorado and see my family because I have
Isn't that
nothing.
vacation?
Oh, you
going
have
on.
family in
Wasn't that
Colorado.
the
I was like,
vacation
okay.
you were with former Laker? Was that? No?
I'm sorry?
The guy Ari Shafir?
I flew in with Kobe.
Did you?
We were in.
I never said anything about him. It was a joke. Sometimes jokes hit, sometimes they miss. I mean, sometimes you fuck a dog and people think it's real. I couldn't even tell you.
The dog's pregnant.
Well, I got a MySpace message from Jeff Scott.
Recently? One, MySpace is gone. And so is Jeff Scott.
This was a couple weeks ago.
Jeff, are you there? No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
he's somewhere.
On MySpace.
He's here somewhere.
I'm stuck in the ether.
He was so mad. He sent me this long message about how he wished I was there because I'm the only one who would have defended him.
That is so fucking funny. This makes the story even better because Brett's version is different than
so
yours.
it's Brett's version because that's probably funnier.
Well, just that he got an email from you.
Yeah.
But so in my head, I assumed you were there that night.
No.
I had no idea you weren't even in the building.
I felt bad because I was receiving a message from it was probably a 50-year-old homosexual Pee Wee Herman impersonator telling me that he was bullied by another grown man and that I'm the only one who would have defended him and I failed him because I was not.
How dare you take that vacation?
Yeah.
how dare you take a vacation?
Their rules are rules.
So I read it and then I'm like, well, that sucks. And then I'm like, you know what? I should say something to Brett.
That you took the time
Yeah.
to write an email or
You're
whatever
like,
it was.
yeah.
I'm going to
is
defend
so
his honor
fucking funny to
after
me.
the fact.
Yeah. And I just was like, you piece of shit. It was
Jeff
literally
Scott's
just
been
like-
playing the piano
I
for
was
30
crying.
years.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Did he answer you?
So no,
How long ago was this?
This is probably 15, 16 years ago.
It's hysterical.
And so I sent him this message, and then all he sent back was, "We're gonna talk when you're back in town." And I just remember,
threat, or is that just
it seemed like it was.
menacing a little bit?
Well, he was upset because he was like, wait, I went to the cover booth. I did this. Like,
Yeah.
He thought he went through the channels.
he thought he went the
Well,
proper.
you got to hit up Mitzi's beeper. You got to get a beeper to call back to the
That's
beeper.
exactly right.
He's like,
You got to
wait.
look up at the sky, see if any
Yeah.
there's lights coming from her house.
Yeah, I mean, if Tommy told Norm Macdonald he can only perform at the end of the night when everyone else was done, then you follow the goddamn rules.
They don't get it.
Wow.
So
There's an SNL news desk.
So I was standing in the parking lot a week later, talking to Kevin Christie, and
Known instigator.
and
100%.
he's like, "Hey, what's the deal with Ernst?" And I go, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, he was up here
So
looking for you. He was so
funny.
fucking mad." And I'm like, "Oh well." So I try and explain the story to Kevin. And Kevin's like looking at me, and I'm like, "So Jeff sent me this message, and I was out of town. I didn't know what else to do. I don't have Brett's number, so I sent him a message on MySpace telling him what a piece of shit he is." And he's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. It seemed like the right thing to do. And so we're standing in the parking lot, and here comes fucking Ralph Macchio. He blazes in his Mustang.
It's his cousin.
And
Louis LaRusso.
I didn't see it, but I believe
he
you.
pulled.
Louis LaRusso,
He
Daniel's
literally,
cousin.
he aggressively pulled his car up to about 1.5 feet from my legs in the parking lot. And Kevin Christie goes, all right, have a good night. And he just wandered over to the back, and then I was just standing there like,
thank you, waiting.
It just drew me and Ranazizi. We were having dinner, and he told us this story, and the two of us were like,
when you get milk?
What?
I completely forgot about that happening.
We were screaming like we were like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Ingram sent you an email. Wait, what?
I think it was a MySpace message because there's
You're
no way I
probably
had
right.
his email.
You're
Jeff,
probably
thank
right.
you. Or did he know?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Well, again, because Brett showed up here, and by the time I got back in town, Brett had already talked to Jeff and apologized and explained.
Their beef was over.
Their beef was over.
Still going.
And now it was just, I can't
now
believe
it was me
this.
and Rick, man to man, got to man up.
No good deed goes unpunished.
And Kevin Christie's like, he could legitimately kill you if you guys fight. I'm like, if he fights me, he's a bully. I mean, I weigh like 135 pounds.
First gay guys, now me. What's he going to do next?
Well, how far is this guy going to take it?
He beat up the HIV guy.
Yeah.
In his Pee Wee Herman
He may have
Pops.
it now. His hands were all bloody.
He got out. He was so mad.
It's
And he was
so
like,
funny.
we got a problem?
Was it Garland? Garland was involved?
Hey! Why are you sending me emails?
I would never drive a Mustang.
Yours sounds like he's falling.
He
Do it
is
again.
falling down the stairs. So
His lungs are
exasperated.
collapsing.
Yeah, he's hurting.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
completely
God,
forgot
that is
about
so
It's
fucking
even funnier to me now that Brett Ernst remembers that.
Do you think you would still have, like, if you saw him now, would it be fine, or do you think there'd be residual?
Brett?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he loves Rick.
it's fine.
He was just telling the story. He
that
just
part.
thought it was
Literally-
funny that it happened.
A bump on the road for you two.
By the end of the conversation, we stood in the parking lot for like 30 minutes with him explaining his side of it, and me being like, that's bullshit, man. You got in the face of a dude who's a gay piano
You're
player.
just poking him.
Yeah.
That's
He's one of the
And he was like-
original HIV men.
And he kept trying to explain his case, and I'm like, no, that's bullshit.
Hey, the guy that hired him had it too.
And
Really?
Stevie Ray Moore.
You think that was part of the job
Steve
interview?
Moore, part of the
He's
job.
like, you want this. You fuck
R.I.P.
me and you get HIV.
That conversation ended, and Brett was like, all right, so we're cool? And I was like, no, we're not cool. We're not beefing, but we've never been cool.
You wouldn't just end it.
And then our friendship started growing from there.
So stupid.
That's how you got the respect.
A month later, he's like, dude, Derek Thomas, right? One of the greatest linebackers of all time. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
I guess we're cool now.
Yeah, you know a football player from my hometown. We're in.
Speaking of sticklers and me
Okay.
being disrespected at this place,
Yeah.
because I have a long
You really
history.
feel like a lot of disrespect is going on
Oh, it is.
towards you.
It's been since day one.
It's made me sick. What's gone on?
I'm there with you.
I want to fill out the paperwork for you.
I have medical. They started the psychiatric help thing here because of
Really?
me.
PTSD.
They're like, we're fucking with you so hard, you can come in and talk to these people who are going to probably fuck with you too.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of you. Are you talking to anybody?
Well, they're
Go
giving
ahead.
me $10,000 a month.
Okay, that's
worth
nice.
it.
There was a night in the main room. No one was here. Like none
Okay.
of the people who called in were here, and they're scrambling. I think one of the managers, maybe Richie, one of the greatest managers of our time, was like, "Hey, we
Richie
need,
and
we
the
need a
McGriddle.
comic." And he's freaking out, and he's with the sound guy, and I'm there. I was doing the OR, and like, "Oh, he's here. You can go up." The sound guy looks at me, and he goes, "He's not ready." To my face,
Wow.
just standing there. I'm like.
Wow.
Never seen me perform because I'd never done the main room. Because why would they book me in the main? Why
Right.
give somebody something? Not an option. They went to the next fucking.
I do know exactly what I was.
I was not happy with it.
I came in later
Who the
and you
fu-
were
what are you
very
fucking
upset.
you missed
Very
the show?
upset.
If she did it, I'd be pissed. But this fucking guy, your job is to fucking adjust sound.
I run
That's
the
it.
room.
Read this. Fuck. Then finally, the great Adam Egget, who saw
Yes.
something in the young Danish.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Gave me
did.
some opportunities in the main room. I did my first set there that he saw because it was literally like the first time I fucking went on the stage
In a
like
suit.
20 in a light blue suit.
Yes,
like
he
a
did.
professional.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He comes up to me after. Good set. Like I had gained his respect.
You did it.
Like he had passed me. What the fuck what is going on?
The time between when you weren't ready and when you finally did that performance
That's
was when you
right.
grew the most. He inspired you.
What the fuck? Watching something a lot does not make you an expert. A lot of people
Agreed.
watch porn. Doesn't mean you're fucking
Agreed.
unbelievably well.
Danny Lucas once fucked with Garland. And
What, Garland?
Garland. I've never met him. Why would I mess with him? I
was
can't
so
do
great.
it. I'm sorry.
Garland got so mad and he started screaming.
Maybe it's a Jeff thing. That's another Jeff.
Yeah, he doesn't
Whoa.
like the Jeffs.
So wait, who? Oh,
Garland showed up and was just like,
he
basically said, "I'm going up," and I think he wanted to bump Caparillo or something.
That's hilarious.
And
hey, fuck you, fucking Garland, dog.
Yeah, there was like a full on. This is my plan. I'm gonna do this, and Danny wasn't having it. He's like, no, dude, Mitzi wouldn't be cool with that.
It's pretty good.
And so
how do all these people fucking figure out what Mitzi likes and doesn't like? How do you do the equation of like?
She did love Dan. She did love Danny, and she did give Danny a lot of responsibility. Like she did tell him he could legit. Yeah, he could legit.
Well, that's
tell
why
people
he judged
no
my talent
yes.
without ever seeing me.
And
he just took a look at me.
He had a horrible fight with Tony Hinchcliffe because Tony was on. He was running the light, and he started playing music on him. Yeah. Tony flipped
this
the
is
fuck
not
out.
the Grammys.
The biggest up-and-coming star.
Turn the music
in
off,
America today.
And he was ready. Hey, he's ready.
But him and Tony went at it, and then they chill, and then
now
they're
best
fine.
friends.
Now they're fine.
They live together in Austin.
But it was.
A lot of people don't realize that.
In a timeshare, I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
correct.
true.
Fuck yeah. So, but so Mitzi did give him kind of like.
So he used it on me.
He
really
fucked
the only
with
person.
You.
And it felt good.
You get a lot of disrespect here. Other than that, what has any other?
It's not right.
You get a lot of sexual harassment.
Another case from a woman. I won't say who.
Okay.
A well-known comic.
Very.
As I was working here, did she
tell us more?
Stuck her hand in her pussy.
Yep.
And said, "Smell this," and put it close to my face. A friend of mine was like,
"Why did she do that?
That's great. Why you didn't love it? Why didn't you call me?" And I was like, "Well, I was worried. I didn't really."
This friend of yours, man, I gotta be honest.
It seems like a bad influence.
He's sexually aggressive.
And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't. I was working. I just wasn't kind of in that space. I didn't really like it."
Seems like an honest
not
guy.
to like.
This is a very honest man you're talking about.
Yeah, he was like, "Can I start working there? This sort of stuff's going on again."
Yeah.
But that happened.
But wait,
didn't report that one.
Why did she do that? Because didn't you ask her for something?
No, I don't think
you didn't ask her for her ID.
No. She was a comic. I knew she was.
Oh, okay. I thought
I
thought you were saying, hey.
No, it wasn't like there was no rapport between us. She's walked by.
Oh, so there was nothing. She just walked up to you.
No history.
Hey, can we talk for a minute about the demise of Harris Pete at this comedy club?
What does that mean?
The final straw.
It's unfortunate.
Okay.
Harris worked
Speaking
here
of
a long
Garland,
time.
he has a history with Garland.
He worked here. That's a story I want to tell.
Oh, I think O'Neill witnessed it. I
did
may have
too.
witnessed it.
Garland was on the marquee. He was the only famous person on the lineup that night.
And it was like the
when
peak
was
of like
what
early
year
curve.
This is the dead years. This is like 2005-ish, 6-ish.
Garland to me is new here.
Yeah.
But Curb was like
Curb was
hot
very
at the
big,
time.
yeah.
Okay.
Like it was a
They
big deal.
hadn't taken a hiatus yet.
All the
so it
time
was like,
I'm here in the 90s, I don't see him.
Yeah.
So later in the 2000s.
But he was like a known dude. Like
Yeah.
he was known.
He was famous.
I get it.
So he walks in and he starts walking in through the back to go check in the OR. And for whatever reason, Harris Pete decided that was the night he was going to fucking check him.
And by the way, he rarely came
now
to
I
the
know
back
the
door.
story
Ever.
you're talking
He rarely
about.
limped his way back
He
there.
usually was just standing at the front door waiting for any middle-aged woman to squat somewhere in the front so he could grab her by the hair and toss her in the sunset like Caesar with the boon shot.
300 no against drunk women late at night. With those stairs involved, they never saw it.
No.
This guy, greatest
Unbelievable
record.
That's
Greatest
a hell of a
record in intergender street
Mitzi
fighting.
hired him. She was walking by
knew.
an apartment building, saw a woman fly downstairs. I like when I
Get
see
'em at the
you.
store.
That's great.
Work
Bring
the
him
front
on in.
door.
He'd
Throw women down
He'd
the
be
stairs.
terrific here.
Harris yelled at Garland that he needed to go around front and pay to get in. And he was like, I'm a comic! And he goes, I don't care who you are. You got to go in through the front.
I think someone said it may have been O'Neill. I think was working the door, and he's like,
But
"Hey,"
see-
he goes, "Hey, that's Jeff Garland." Never heard of him.
How does Harris Pete not know him?
Stormed off.
He had to know him. He had to do it.
He just didn't like him.
There must have been
Okay.
a beef or some sort of beef with Jim Varney involved with Harris.
The
That's a
funniest
fact.
comic of all time, Jim Varney.
Good friend.
Okay.
Harris never spoke to me ever, except to berate me. Comes up to me, gives me like a 10-minute speech. My friend's coming in here to pull in the lot. Blake, what was the fucking guy's name from Waterboy? The guy does the Indecipherable.
Oh, Blake Clark.
Blake Clark,
Great
yeah.
Blake Clark.
He talked to
Happy
me about Blake
Veterans
Clark
Day.
for 20 minutes. He gave me like every credit the guy's done.
My favorite person.
You let him park here, and I was like, all right, I get it. And I just wouldn't stop telling me how great Blake Clark was. I was like, all right, cool, dude.
Yeah, no, I said cool earlier.
Yeah, and then he would then I'd see the same guy who's telling me what a piece of shit I am. Fuck you. You do your job. You suck.
Yeah.
I see him with any waitress, could be 400 pounds, fucking hugging, laughing, and I'm like, look at you, fucking asshole, in the back, like, look at you, honey, sweet. I'm like, look at this fucking guy.
Not me. We used to argue. In the
Really?
beginning. Yeah, we used to argue.
Well, they said you were the female Harris P. a lot of times.
Yeah, because Eleanor would
I
take
would throw
older
out
men.
300-pound men.
Yeah, and just
Your record was you threw men down the stairs.
That's right.
you lost 11 matches, but it was by choice.
I did not.
You threw them.
Oh, I
chose-
submitted.
yeah.
I
You threw
submitted.
them.
Eleanor, you never pinned me.
You never got me down, Eleanor.
I'm the original Andy Dice Kaufman. I wrestled women in Memphis.
Okay.
I did
Jerry
watch-
Lawler.
I did watch Dice get into a verbal argument with Tony Clifton one night.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we were
And
talking
Clifton
about this.
screaming at him about how you stole my ass, Clay. He's like, Tony, you're a fucking zero.
Was it real or was it put on?
It had to be put
None
on.
of my business.
Let's film it. We're gonna put it up. I'm gonna
That's
say
what let me.
this.
It wasn't even filmed.
No,
That's
they
it
were
was,
just
it was
arguing.
the only thing he'd never filmed during
Really?
that.
It was a
period.
genuine argument. It was amazing, and Rick, I love when he.
did my podcast gets 150 downloads. You
I'm sorry, what was that, Wheel?
150 downloads for my podcast.
150,000?
downloads.
meatball. You can eat the second to last.
Yeah,
But don't eat the last
leave the
one.
last one for other people.
So you get 150,000 downloads
On a light week.
On a light week.
Big week. I've broken the internet a few times.
So how many
Wow.
sponsors do you
You heard
have?
of this there's a new internet that's coming out? It's because of me.
A new internet.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Web3, I think.
Web3.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to go stop by the GNC once we get to Anchorage.
What?
What are you? Yeah, I know a guy that works there. Yeah, so,
That's where he stays there. He's such a gym rat. He stays in the GNC in Anchorage.
dude, he's telling me about how we have to go to the mall when we get to Anchorage, so we can go to the GNC. And
Rick did a gig with him
and
in
he knows a
LA.
guy.
O'Neill did it.
And I'm
too.
just like,
Oh.
all right, man. And we go there, and I'm just like, this dude is fucking nuts. And we walk in, and the guy at the GNC's like, hey, you're the comedian that toured with Dice. I'm just like, this dude does know him. This is fucking amazing. Whatever happened to that TV show you said you were going to be on?
oh, they shelved it for now. So,
If you know Wheels,
shelved it
you
for
know the
now.
physique is he has gotten thinner, but it's usually on
He
point.
shed a
Muscular.
lot of pounds.
The protein is.
You know he's jacked. One of the more jacked comics of our time.
All right, I have to go
I'm going to
upstairs.
plead the fifth.
but
Wait, is
we're-
it what? Oh, this
We're-
is
Well, you
we're
guys
bullshit.
get good spots.
We're at 65 minutes already.
What
so-
time is it?
All right. Did you say 65 we're at? Oh, okay.
What time? What's it like to go up at these hours?
It's 9:36. First of all, this
You guys
new,
are royalty.
It feels
these are
good.
pandemic
You guys
hours.
are the prom king and queen.
We
of the
really
comedy
are
store.
right now.
A lot of
Thank you for
people
having me
realize-
on. I thought I was on a no-fly list on here.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this.
We had to pull
my
some strings.
My spots aren't great.
I shot Brett Ernst an email and asked him if we could get you on the podcast.
What'd he say?
Uh,
Did Garland recommend me?
Wait, Jeff Danis! Why isn't that guy on my show? I mean, I don't have any control over it, but if
I
I did,
love
I'd put him on it, but I don't. You should have talked to me a couple years ago.
When I was a little COVID shy when I came back because
Okay.
I was having a secret pregnancy
Yeah.
with my lady
Right.
friend. We had some
I was
some tough
curious.
times.
Yeah, I'm just like, why isn't he coming back? And then when the
Yeah.
COVID baby
she
happened,
wasn't
I'm
vaxxed.
like, oh.
She was, so we were like, she wasn't working. We're like, it's
Yeah.
just not good. So I was like super paranoid about COVID. So I took a while to come back. Came back pretty early on to come, maybe right away. 3 weeks, no spots.
Yeah.
Just 0 for 3.
Wow.
Yeah, felt good.
yeah.
Felt par for the course.
Well,
Welcome
we're gonna
back.
Have to fix that. We're gonna have to
Welcome
fix
back. Red
Welcome
carpet.
back. Yeah.
Rolled out. I felt like the sound guy was
They were
there.
they were treating you like Justin Wade on any show.
Rick.
I
But as soon as they opened, Rick and I were like, "We're here. Where do
Yeah.
we go? Where do we go? Where
I
do we
looked
go?"
at the building of the Hyatt at the roof.
Really?
The Andaz.
The
now.
Andaz.
Maybe
Yeah,
jumping
yeah.
off isn't such a bad idea.
It's not a
Right
good
under that
idea, but
ramp.
it's not,
Not
a bad idea. yeah.
Remember
What do you-
the time
Do
the
you think
comic?
the new hotel would be better?
Maybe.
you
Remember the
go
time
right
the
into
comic that
Sunset?
Eleanor brought in here hit my car and it was parked on the ramp that the lock guy put there,
Yeah.
and I saw him do it, and I was
He
like,
literally saw him do it. I was with you and
and
saw
I was like,
him
I
do
won't
it.
flag him down. I'll just hit him up. And then I hit him up. He's like, I didn't hit your car. And I was like, oh, that's weird because I saw you do it. And then there was some back and forth. It was like, oh, yeah, maybe I did. I don't know. And it was like, wait.
Yeah, so what?
So then I hit up the Comedy Store. I'm like, hey, man, here's what's going on. This guy hit my car. Like, what's going on? And they're like, so then the manager was like, okay, we'll handle it. Don't hear anything from.
Was the manager Richie or somebody else?
No, another dude. Not here anymore. Ichabod Crane looking motherfucker.
Okay.
Like 2 weeks go by.
Ichabod Crane looking motherfucker.
2 weeks go by. I hear nothing from the guy. I hit him back up. I'm like, hey, man, what about the car? And he's like, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm on it. Another like 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? What's going on? And then he's like, okay, well, your car wasn't on the Comedy Store property, so it's kind of between you and him. Next spot I had, I stormed into the office. I see Ichabod, and I'm like, hey, man, it would have been fucking nice to know that when you learned that instead of me fucking tracking you down. I had to call the guy a million times. So then I had to go through this fucking guy who's like, my insurance isn't so good, so, like, how about I just give you, like, 100, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck?
No fucking way.
What was I going to do? So I fucking took the guy. I was like, fuck. And I've never talked to the guy since. Not that we talked a lot before. But that's my history at this place. I liked it. I love this place.
Of course, but
it's the father who will never love me, and I'm like, this is the birthday. He's gonna show up. He says he'll show up.
This is it.
He loves me.
He brought me a gift.
What could go wrong? And it never ceases to make a new low for me.
By the way, they say that's not Comedy Store property. And Mitzi has a handshake saying they can use.
Why are your cars parked? I go, I didn't park my car there.
Somebody else did.
I go, I brought my car into your property. It was moved there. And, well, we can't do anything. Sorry.
Didn't they hit Jamar's car as well?
Probably. I don't know.
Remember he was backing up or something.
Oh, yeah, he was fucking.
And Jamar had so many hits he wouldn't notice.
He was like, oh, man, it looks good. What'd you do?
Who did this?
You knocked a few out.
Who fixed my bumper?
So in my mindset was like, say that's Rogan's car. What happens?
Oh, my God.
Is it the same process? Even somebody slightly below, like, it's just like, don't treat me like a piece of shit. Like, treat me like if it was your car to the manager. What would you do? Would it be like, well, you talk to the guy? Like, it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's fucked
up. I worked here. I worked that fucking lot. Like, how about a little something?
Would you, if you hit somebody's car or a car got hit while you were working here, what would you do?
When I worked a lot, I almost killed myself. I've told the story in Dice's car, but I wouldn't have been like, oh, I don't know what happened. Yeah, you tell people. Like, it's
so simple just to fucking say, hey, something happened. Like, I remember Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
I mean, Doc Lewis.
Doc Rivers.
I always do
before he coached. Was
so sorry. Doc. What's his name now?
Doc
Willis?
I almost said Lewis. You throw me off. Doc Willis.
Doc Willis.
I almost said Lewis because you're fucking me up.
I love you, Doc Willis. You know Doc Rivers, but I do love you.
Oh, what a...
Doc Rivers, Willis.
You just did it again.
I'm kidding. Well, that was intentional. But wait, Doc Willis, when he worked here, I'd be sitting in the kitchen, with Dice would be in there smoking, whatever, just talking, and waitresses getting all their drinks, whatever. And Doc would come in, oh, man, I hit your car. And Andrew was like, it's just the car. Like, it's that simple.
I hit,
like, he didn't care.
I destroyed, like, I fucking did major damage to Polly's car.
What?
Oh, yeah.
How hard?
Eddie Griffin was berating me in the fucking
I think I've heard this.
He would pull in like 18 cars, and I'd be like, Eddie, he was banned at the time, which was like, this is smart to let the guy hang out here. Pull in with like 50 fucking cars, and a lot that fits like 30 cars. And I'd be like, Eddie, I can't, I don't have room. Come on, motherfucker, mate. We got Pee-wee, my son, like little Eddie. And I'm like, dude, I can't do it. It was raining. I'm working outside. I have no umbrella. I'm soaked. And I'm like, dude, I can't fit it. So I let like 2 or whatever. You end up bargaining. Like, all right, 3 can stay. Get rid of the rest of them. So then he's like, I gotta fucking go, motherfucker. He's screaming at me like, get me the fuck out of here. I'm like, dude, I'm moving cars. I'm getting you out as fast as I can. Yelling at me. So I had to keep moving cars. And then Paulie drove in his fucking Escalade that was like 80 feet long. And this lot is good for cars like that.
No.
And so I'm moving it in and out on the Sunset. I did it like 5 times. And then Brody had pulled in the meantime on the very end where you're not supposed to park. So the ass end of his car was out into like the main drive, which is narrow. And
very narrow.
So I'm pulling Paul. I'm like I'm looking a million times just to get between that wall and the end of his car. It took me forever. So I pull him back in and I go car to car on Brody's car. And I'm just stuck. And I just have to drive up the side of it. And you just hear, and there's just a million comics on the patio. I think Brody, don't do this.
Why would you do this?
So I go into the office to tell Dean the Nightmare Gelber, manager to the Stars.
Bro.
I go, Dean, something happened a lot. If you're going to fire me, just do it now. It's raining. I'm having a bad night. I just did that.
It's raining.
And he's like, what happened, bro? And I was like, something happened to Paulie's car. What was it, bro? And I was like, I kind of hit into a car. And I was like, can you tell him? Like, you're friends with him. Maybe it'll come better. Paulie walks right up behind me. Fucking Dean, known for his backbone. Bro, don't you have something to tell Paulie?
Oh, what a piece of shit.
And I was like, hey, man, I kind of cracked. I fucked up your car on the side of it.
Dude,
what happened, bro? And I told him, he's like, you got to be careful,
but
right?
But he didn't get that crazy.
Didn't get that pissed? They got pissed at Brody that his car shouldn't have been in that spot.
Oh,
and for like
God.
a couple years, Brody, like, not that he wasn't openly, like, didn't like me, but, like, was a little cold to me.
Really?
Just because he loved his mother's car.
That's right.
Like, that, he liked that car. This is before
Camry?
he taped up the fucking wheel, the drum on it.
Yeah.
This is before all that. Before Dice Mule kicked it, which he denies. But yeah, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I liked Brody, so I felt horrible. And I was like, fuck.
Well, who doesn't like Brody? Who didn't like Brody?
Who doesn't like Paulie? One of my best friends in the business.
Dude,
hey,
right?
Bro.
Oh, he's very close. You guys are close?
We're not close. He's never actually disrespected me. His mom fired me for having a beard.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Had that been a friend of mine.
Well, it looked like shit, okay?
And she's walked by and said, fire him.
That's
well,
terrible.
For what? He's got a beard.
Get rid of it.
Look, you don't have to leave, but just be scarce when she's here, okay? It's like, what? I work here.
You know, we did that for years. As waitresses, she'd come in and
fire you guys for beards?
Well, kind of. She'd be like, who's the blonde? And I'm like, she's one of our best waitresses. Get rid of her. I'm like, wait, what? And so we would just make her wear a hat. And she used to wear a hat with a hood.
You got to dye your hair. I'm sorry. You're going to be jet black hair.
My Anna, I had her for almost 5 years.
Did she just the look?
I don't know.
Was it?
She
By the way,
doesn't look right.
I'm going to say that may not be a legal way to fire somebody.
I'm going to say that HR departments exist in a lot of places, there was never one here.
Well, that's weird because it's very now. By the way, it's weird if you hear it now because now it is like that.
I remember she fired a waitress for leaning on the wall. She had her leg up on the wall, and the waitress was here for 10 years.
Originally, the building plan had no walls to have. You wouldn't even have that as an option.
She was in the showroom with her tray in her hand, leaning against the wall in the original room right outside the men's room.
Tyrant.
Her little squirrel eyes caught her, and she was like, she called the manager over and she goes, "Get rid of her." And
that's why I love hearing comics who never weren't really comics here, and I know for a fact had nothing to do with her.
Knew her.
Oh, she's so great, unbelievable. I'm like, you again, you don't know the horror this woman brought to so many lives. Yes, she did some good things. It made a place that we all love,
and we loved it.
But there are parts of it that was a fucking nightmare.
On Rogan, he was like, "What are you telling? What are you saying? You're making this woman not the way I see her." And I go, "You see her any way you want. I had to work for her."
Yeah, you see a fucking queen who's nice to you, and you were a name. I was fucking abused.
She called the cops on me. She said I tried to kill her.
I had to showcase in front of her to keep my fucking job that I hated. Like,
she did that to a lot of you fuckers.
And she's like, "Oh, if she hates you, you're fired." And you're like, "I don't even like the fucking." And you'd be terrified. You're like, now all of a sudden you're like, "Wait, I'm gonna be fired for what?" And they're like, "Oh, if she doesn't like your performance," you're like,
"Oh yeah." I
remember we had to go up in front of like 50 fucking, and she would ice that room because all the comics
100%.
would be tight. And the audience would be like, look, like, what the fuck? Everyone's.
She would just be in a bad mood. She'd go, "Okay, I want to see all the door guys." You're like, wait a minute, who's going to watch the door? I don't care. Get them up here.
Eating microwave popcorn via candlelight so you could see your face how much she hated you.
And then Peter Chen would come in. "Hey, Mitzi, can I get some popcorn?"
And if she hated you,
"Can I get a popcorn, Mitzi?"
If she hated you,
Peter.
she would overrule the light and say, "Get him off!" loud. And
she did it to Louis C.K.
You're like, "Gotta go." I guess that's it.
See, here's the thing. We're now the old people. We're now the old comedy store people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, now I know what they felt like coming in. You're like, people are looking like, "What the fuck is that?"
You mean like when I was standing here before I had the baby, my paternity leave.
Okay.
September 28th. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
To me and my family. Comedy store sent us a care package.
Wow.
They mentioned it on Twitter. Mention my birthday every year.
They sent you a couple bucket hats.
elaborate birthday posts. Not that I care. There are people who do care. You think they've ever fought?
A lot of people that care.
There are people who care a lot.
I don't care.
I share a birthday with a great comic, Brian Holtzman.
The great
I see
Brian
a flowery post to Holtzman. No mention to me, ever.
Wow.
Ever. But, so I was standing, waiting to do my set. I would think I was next, standing in the back hallway.
Okay.
Door guy, who I'd seen a lot. I don't really talk to a lot. Like, there's so many new guys.
Oh,
and I'm not here a lot, so I don't really know any of them. So the guy looks at me. He's like, hey, man, you waiting for someone? And I was like, oh, I'm performing. And he just thought I was a fucking guy milling around. So that is what it is like
and
to be
me. And
me.
it is all new door
that's
people.
Me right there.
Whoa, that's the 200th episode.
Look at that
Danish
respect.
and O'Neill.
Look at that respect.
That's respect. By the way, can the viewers see this or just us? That's not good. So what we're looking at is pictures from the 200th episode of Danish and O'Neill.
Look at Earl's glasses. How would you describe the thickness on that lens?
Wow. If he put them down,
if he's
certain
angles,
it would be on fire.
Certain angles in the sun, he can burn his
100%. He can burn the retinas out.
By the way, me and O'Neill, who you mentioned, Danish and O'Neill podcast and Beach Cops.
Great. Beach Cops, Danish and
Boner
O'Neill
City,
podcast.
if you want to go way back.
Wow.
But we have people who know of us in L.A. We don't have a huge fan base, but we do have a base.
Giant.
Not giant, but they're fucking
they're
enthused
loyal.
and loyal.
Because
you see them when you do the road, they come up to you.
Come up to me. I can't tell you how many people at Skankfest.
There's a lot of.
I thought you were going to do Garland, so I waited. But
that's Rick's.
Skankfest.
There's a lot of crossover, especially with the podcast.
Yes.
Ask Earl. He just did. They're coming up into the bathroom doing mama, which I think is flattery.
I'm on stage. I'll get off, and people will be like, "Did you tell your mom that you like store-bought 7-Up cake?" Which was fake. That's not real. I like the regular.
That's not true.
You guys cheated.
No,
I get it. It was a whole hoax.
No.
That's funny. Ha ha ha. For you.
Not true.
Anyway.
But why wouldn't you?
But you sold out the belly room. Like,
wouldn't you give guys like that some spot? Throw them some bones.
Agreed.
Maybe.
No, I'm on.
People
team
come
Danish
here.
O'Neill.
I've had people come up to me after, like, hey, like they sit there like, hey man, like I know you. I'm like, oh shit. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, no one cares.
No.
Which is how I'm treated.
You mean
you start
here.
believing that? Yes. My mistake is I did put faith into the father that it was abusing me. You know, I never went anywhere else, and that's my bad. I fucked up on that.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, I don't really feel it.
A lot of comics do that though. They just put all their eggs in this basket.
You're comfortable. You know people. You're friends with people here.
No, I get it. I get it.
You know how shit worked. You know, you just like, and I was writing the whole. You know, so I was like, I don't want to fucking run around all. I want to have some semblance of a life.
Right.
Because I was writing fucking 7 days a week, all day, all night.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I want to run around to fucking a million? So you're like, I'm in there. It seems like a good place to be. And then you're like, oh, next thing you know, you're like, oh, everyone thinks I'm a fucking. I've been labeled an idiot by Tom Morris, and that's stuck to this day.
He's an idiot. But the town, Adam knew you were terrific.
And it seems like
Adam
the
had just
current administration does not seem to. I don't know.
Well, the current administration just has to see you more.
The problem is,
and you did just have a baby, and you're on paternity, and
that's
we had
true,
COVID, so there is a lot of elements.
When I came back from COVID, and I'm a guy who calls, like, if I bomb, I say I bomb.
100%, same. I'm
not a. Oh, I did unbelievable.
I wish I
There are
had
nights
that.
in the main room I'm like, Jesus, I just ate. Fuck, I may never perform again. That was so bad. But when I came back from COVID, I don't know what it was. I think it was part of it was like better crowds were coming in because of COVID. They couldn't see shows for so long. These were like diehard comedy fans.
Yeah.
So late night was like, oh, these are real crowd. Like usually late night, you know, from when you were a peasant like me. Now you're a hero. But the late night crowds can be tough. Can be tough.
Oh my God!
But,
yeah, now that's just because nobody's coming in. Everybody's doing their makeup dates from COVID.
Yes.
And once people start coming in, I'll get back to that late
when
night.
I came back from COVID, the late night, you're like, oh shit, this is like a pretty real show. Like this is.
People were staying,
and they were like happy to be there.
Yeah,
they were loving it.
And we're not. The time shifted, so
yes,
it's not like when we went on at midnight. The show started at 9. It was jam packed, and then we were going on. Sometimes my spots are 12:30, 12:30, 12:45. In the OR, and it would just be people running out. Very rarely, it would be packed, but it was people were sat all night and saw every fucking famous comics you could think of. And they were like, we're not sitting here for this bitch.
But when I came back, I don't know if it was just time or just having kids. I think it's changed my perspective a little bit. But doing better probably than I've ever done, especially here.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I don't know if I've hit a new gear, whatever it is.
You definitely hit a new gear because I watched you a couple times. I was like, damn.
And
you always kill, but it was a little different. O'Neill too.
What was I'm not underselling him.
No. I'm just thinking because I watched people I hadn't seen in so long, and I'm like, wow.
But what's frustrating is that the current administration has seen me, to my knowledge, not seen me perform once. Which is, it just doesn't feel like you're getting any sort of a shot.
The fact that you keep saying current administration makes
I don't
me
want to throw anyone
so happy.
I don't want to
know
throw
why.
anyone under the bus.
Like the way I just like the wording of it. But I'm gonna go to the current administration,
the CA,
and I'm gonna do
or the powers
what
that
Don
be.
Barris used to say I would do when I was a waitress here, and I would yell at people. He used to call me this from Sally, the movie Sally Field did, where she would hold up the union thing. No, it was old. You're thinking of no, this was a union movie. Okay. This was a serious movie about unions, and she held up the sign, and Don Barris said that I would do that in the kitchen. I can't think of the name of the movie, but he always used to call me that because I would go and fight for people that weren't getting the respect.
And I'm going
to do that.
I'm a realistic guy. No, I don't have a lot of credits. And so I'm not asking the fuck. I'm not saying, hey, let me go right before Marin.
Yeah, but you have a following, and that's what we're basing shit on.
Or just throw me a bone here and there. Maybe make a little money in one of the rooms here where you can make money.
Wow.
I have 2 kids. That would be nice. I'll go up dead last. You want me to go up after dead last? I'll go up.
I came here late because I needed to make money down the street.
The great Brian Holtzman. I used to go up a lot before Holtzman in the previous administration.
Yes, previous
not the current. The PA, not the CA. And I would go up in front of Holtzman.
BC before
Holtzman
Corona.
he was a guy I saw we never talked just because I wasn't in the main room. So
right.
He was like people were like, oh, you know Rogan? I'm like, I've seen him. I've never fucking interact. I'm there at 12:30 to 1. He's not there. Like he may know my face. We don't know each other. So I had Holtzman and I would talk in the green room, in the main room. We became like, I'm friends with Holtzman now. And he would say, no, it would usually be me, somebody else, then Holtzman. And he would come up to me.
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have to follow you. That was something in there.
Yeah.
That was
didn't
something
leave any meat on the bone.
You had something going in there. And Holtzman's a guy, like, I love Holtzman. I think he's the funniest guy.
You didn't leave anything for me in there.
So to hear
leave me some.
A guy who I think is so funny, I'm like, oh, I didn't think it went that well. Oh, it didn't go that well. You get the fuck out.
I don't think you know what you're doing there, young man.
If the current administration's listening, just come on, help a guy out every now and then. Did he or she or they?
We will get they on board. How about that? We will get them.
Just watch a set, see what you think.
We will get them
Maybe
on
when
board
my paternity
to watch.
board. I didn't even tell my girlfriend, the mother of my children, that I was leaving. I just put clothes on some pillows in our bed.
Shut up.
Went out of a window. It's my house isn't good.
And what about Bob and Barbara?
It's not good.
They're not good.
Bob's not sleeping well at night.
Oh no.
Baby Barb hears it. And she's just like, Attica. She's like, I'm joining.
Did you watch that documentary?
No, but
killer.
She wants to join. She's like, I'll shank. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I want in.
Let's do this. Bob, I'm in.
So her new thing is she calls Mama, knowing that Mama's feeding baby Bob. And it's like, who are you picking? Come in my room, please. Whoa. So who gets to go in the room? Me. I said, Mom, get out of here. I don't want you. And so I'm just like,
Mama.
Just everyone's up, everyone's in our bed.
Oh, it's anarchy.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's chaos. And I'm glad to be here. I may never go back home.
Well, we're going to go upstairs and we're going to talk to some people and put your face in front of some people.
I got to go to Ralph's to buy stuff for my family.
I get it, but we're going to do something first. All right. Do you have anything to plug? Danish and O'Neill?
Hit up Danish and O'Neill where you can find podcasts. Beach Cops on Patreon.
Killer.
You've been on there.
I have been on there. It's one of my
show.
favorites.
It's a wild ride.
Yes, it is.
Get
Very
on Patreon.
Exciting.
Check it out. And, I'm pitching a TV show, so we'll see how that goes. Keep your fingers crossed, everybody.
Fingers crossed.
I'll never come in here again.
You will come. See, that's the thing. You got to commit. You got to come
then
here.
I'll get good spots because I'll have some power.
Credit store. Oh, wait. It says the Comedy Store.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm putting updates on my website, but I will be in Philadelphia at Punchline. With Toure, and then also Annie Letterman. Toure, my buddy Toure from Philly. I think he lives in North Philly, but he's a Philly guy.
What's Toure mean?
That's his name. Toure. We're doing a comedy show.
The letter 2 and then Ray?
Turea. Why are you discussing this? I have to go do a
I'm
spot.
Promoting him.
Punchline, Philadelphia, the night before Thanksgiving, and then right after with Annie Letterman, Friday and Saturday. Also, New Year's Eve at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Long Island. I will be there.
By yourself or with someone else?
Myself headlining.
Oh, shit.
And hopefully my buddy Olga. We'll see. But yeah, I'm headlining.
Pro athletes going to be there? Ex-pro athletes?
I don't know. We might get some big-time people rolling through.
What about BTT?
BTT might come through.
Danish and O'Neill and Beach Cop, you know what we're talking about.
I'll hit them up.
Hey, man, the word of the day is it old school. Old school for life.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, Eleanor.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give it up for Jeff Danish. We'll go upstairs
Most
right
disrespected
now.
man in the business. Goodbye.
You got it. Guys, Comedy Store Podcast is back. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please leave us your negative and positive comments, mostly negative.
You can follow me at Rick Ingram. I only accept positivity in my life.
The new Rick is here, and EJ Kerrigan still with the negativity, but like and subscribe.